Hi, I'm Brian Abrahams of AIPAC, and you are watching Taped with Rabbi Doug.
We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug on your TV tonight.
But Daddy, I want to watch Monday Night Football.
Forget about Monday Night Football. There's no other thing we're gonna watch on Monday but Rabbi Doug.
Yeah, Rabbi Doug on TV tonight. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. Oh, everybody talk about Doug.
Shalom, welcome to Taped with Rabbi Doug. We are here at the Washington Convention Center, Washington D.C. for AIPAC 16, and I want to welcome all of you, and I want to welcome my good friend Uri Karzen. He is here from the city of Hebron, Baruch haba, and he is here from Israel, from the city of Hebron. He's been on our show before. We're friends forever. Uri, tell me, why is Hebron being represented in Washington, and this is the first time?
This is the first time we're representing an AIPAC. We brought in two people. We have a new international spokesman by the name of Yishai Fleischer, who is probably walking around here somewhere. I can find him. Hebron is here to promote Hebron. That's our issue. To bring people closer to the heritage of the patriarchs and matriarchs, and we're starting putting ourselves on the map here.
So tell me right now, Hebron's been in the news again. Things going on, Section A, Section B, pursuing of terrorists into the Arab section. What's going on with that, and what do the people in the Jewish quarter of Hebron, say about that?
Okay, Israel now is going through a sort of an onslaught of jihadi terror, where these kids who have been influenced by ISIS and other radical Islamic elements are trying to carve their way, literally, I guess it's a sort of a pun, carve their way into history of establishing that caliphate by going out and trying to attack soldiers, stabbings, rammings, and so on and so forth. Israel is not having an easy time dealing with this. In Hebron itself, we've had several problems, and Hebron itself has actually exported, if the terror attack wasn't in Hebron, we exported terrorists to different parts of the country, unfortunately. At any rate, one of our workers is also in Hebron. Unfortunately, the name of Gennady Crawford was murdered in Hebron. One of the people worked in our system there. He was the gardener of the Kingdom of Machpelah. The army is doing a lot. You know what? The Arabs are complaining that the army is closing off movements, so on and so forth. But it's really their own fault. And when they come to terms with the presence of the State of Israel in the Middle East and the presence of the Jewish community in Hebron, everything will be much better for both sides.
Amazing. Well, I want to welcome you to Washington, D.C. Uri Karzen of Chicago, Illinois, now of Hebron, Israel. Stay with us here at AIPAC 16. This is going to be an amazing conference. Natan Sharansky, all these presidential candidates and politicians from the United States as part of this Israel-American relationship. You won't want to miss it, so stay here on Tape with Rabbi Doug. Thanks, Uri Karzen.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Republican presidential candidate, Mr. Donald J. Trump.
As a lifelong supporter and true friend of Israel. I'm a newcomer to politics, but not to backing the Jewish state. In 2001, weeks after the attacks on New York City and on Washington, and frankly, the attacks on all of us, attacks that perpetrated, and they were perpetrated by the Islamic fundamentalists, Mayor Rudy Giuliani visited Israel to show solidarity with terror victims. I sent my plane because I backed the mission for Israel 100%. In spring of 2004, at the height of the violence in the Gaza Strip, I was the Grand Marshal of the 40th Salute to Israel Parade, the largest single gathering in support of the Jewish state. It was a very dangerous time for Israel and, frankly, for anyone supporting Israel. Many people turned down this honor. I did not. I took the risk, and I'm glad I did. But I didn't come here tonight to pander to you about Israel. That's what politicians do. All talk, no action, believe me. I came here to speak to you about where I stand on the future of American relations with our strategic ally, our unbreakable friendship, and our cultural brother, the only democracy in the Middle East, the State of Israel. Thank you. My number one priority is to dismantle the disastrous deal with Iran. I have been in business a long time. I know deal making. And let me tell you, this deal is catastrophic for America, for Israel, and for the whole of the Middle East. The problem here is fundamental. We've rewarded the world's leading state sponsor of terror with $150 billion, and we received absolutely nothing in return. I've studied this issue in great detail, I would say actually greater by far than anybody else. Believe me. Oh, believe me. And it's a bad deal. The biggest concern with the deal is not necessarily that Iran is going to violate it, because already, as you know, it has. The bigger problem is that they can keep the terms and still get the bomb by simply running out the clock. And of course, they'll keep the billions and billions of dollars that we so stupidly and foolishly gave them. The deal doesn't even require Iran to dismantle its military nuclear capability. Yes, it places limits on its military nuclear program for only a certain number of years. But when those restrictions expire, Iran will have an industrial-sized military nuclear capability ready to go, and with zero provision for delay, no matter how bad Iran's behavior is. Terrible, terrible situation that we are all placed in, and especially Israel. When I'm president, I will adopt a strategy that focuses on three things when it comes to Iran. First, we will stand up to Iran's aggressive push to destabilize and dominate the region. Iran is a very big problem and will continue to be. But if I'm not elected president, I know how to deal with trouble. And believe me, that's why I'm going to be elected president, folks. And we are leading in every poll. Remember that, please. Iran is a problem in Iraq, a problem in Syria, a problem in Lebanon, a problem in Yemen, and will be a very, very major problem for Saudi Arabia. Literally every day, Iran provides more and better weapons to support their puppet states. Hezbollah, Lebanon, received, and I'll tell you what, it has received sophisticated anti-ship weapons, anti-aircraft weapons, and GPS systems and rockets like very few people anywhere in the world, and certainly very few countries have. Now they're in Syria trying to establish another front against Israel from the Syrian side of the Golan Heights. In Gaza, Iran is supporting Hamas and Islamic Jihad. And in the West Bank, they're openly offering Palestinians $7,000 per terror attack and $30,000 for every Palestinian terrorist home that's been destroyed. A deplorable, deplorable situation. Iran is financing military forces throughout the Middle East, and it's absolutely incredible that we handed them over $150 billion to do even more toward the many horrible acts of terror. Secondly, we will totally dismantle Iran's global terror network, which is big and powerful, but not powerful like us. Iran has seeded terror groups all over the world. During the last 5 years, Iran has perpetuated terror attacks in 25 different countries on 5 continents. They've got terror cells everywhere, including in the Western Hemisphere, very close to home. Iran is the biggest sponsor of terrorism around the world, and we will work to dismantle that reach. Believe me, believe me. Third, at the very least, we must enforce the terms of the previous deal to hold Iran totally accountable, and we will enforce it like you've never seen a contract enforced before, folks. Believe me. Iran has already, since the deal is in place, test-fired ballistic missiles 3 times. Those ballistic missiles, with a range of 1,250 miles, were designed to intimidate not only Israel, which is only 600 miles away, but also intended to frighten Europe and someday maybe hit even the United States. And we're not going to let that happen. We're not letting it happen, and we're not letting it happen to Israel, believe me. You want to hear something really shocking? As many of the great people in this room know, painted on those missiles in both Hebrew and Farsi were the words, "Israel must be wiped off the face of the earth." You can forget that. But when the United States stands with Israel, the chances of peace really rise, and rises exponentially. That's what will happen when Donald Trump is president of the United States. We will move the American embassy to the eternal capital of the Jewish people, Jerusalem. That there is no daylight between America and our most reliable ally, the State of Israel. The Palestinians must come to the table knowing that the bond between the United States and Israel is absolutely, totally unbreakable. They must come to the table willing and able to stop the terror being committed on a daily basis against Israel. They must do that. And they must come to the table willing to accept that Israel is a Jewish state and it will forever exist as a Jewish state. I love the people in this room. I love Israel. I love Israel. I've been with Israel so long in terms of, I've received some of my greatest honors from Israel. My father before me, incredible. My daughter Ivanka is about to have a beautiful Jewish baby. In fact, it could be happening right now, which would be very nice as far as I'm concerned. So I want to thank you very much. This has been a truly great honor. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
I'm Bill Foster, the last scientist in the United States Congress, and you're watching Rabbi Doug.
Hero of the Jewish people, Natan Sharansky. You have 3,000 very appreciative Jews here.
Yeah, and we have 10 minutes less because of your introduction.
And so it begins. Natan, I was wondering if I could ask you to just start with a question about what is the status of world Jewry today?
Well, first of all, Jews keep moving to Israel. This year we have a record of the last 15 years, 31,000 Jews moved to Israel this year. 31,000. But what is really unique, for the first time, there is increase simultaneously in Eastern Europe and in Western Europe. From Western Europe, 10,000 Jews who came from Western Europe this year. It's higher than any time since the existence of the State of Israel. And of course, there are special reasons which we all know for this, and I feel it's only the beginning. From Eastern Europe, it's because of the war in Ukraine. It's because of the fear of new Iron Curtain in Russia. And the situation in the Middle East also encourages the remnants of some Jewish communities in the Middle East also to move to Israel. At the same time, connection to Israel becomes more and more important for Jewish communities. I can tell you from our studies of many communities in the world, without faith and without connection to Israel, Jewish communities disappearing. So there are only two anchors. It's connection to our tradition and connection to the State of Israel. And Of course, the big challenges for Jews of the world are shrinking of our Jewish communities, whether you call it struggle against assimilation or you can call it continuity. The meaning of this word is clear. You are here from different synagogues. The challenge is how to make sure that your young are coming back after their bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah back to their synagogues. And that's one of very important challenges. And of course, the other big struggle of the world Jewry is against the legitimization of the State of Israel. The struggle which is, the battlefield is every university. And there, the number of our shlichim, representatives of Israel, can be sent to the universities, to the communities, to schools, to synagogues, is growing practically every week. We need more strong connection.
Okay, excellent. What I'd like to do is first, I want to move from the outside in, and I'm hoping you can talk to us about the Middle East today. With the Arab Spring, or the Arab Winter, a very distant memory, I'm wondering if you still believe that the Middle East is ripe for democracy.
Well, first of all, what it means to be ripe. What I do believe, and I wrote about it long before Arab Spring took place, that all the people were given choice to live under the fear or to live without fear, would prefer to live without fear. And that the longer the dictatorships exist, the bigger the inner resistance of the citizens to these dictatorships. And that's why dictatorships in the Middle East are doomed to fall down exactly as dictatorships in the Eastern Europe and Latin America. And that's what really happened. Those who thought that Mubarak or Assad are stable dictatorships and modern dictatorships. And that's why reformers, and that's why we can deal with them, that's why they, to some extent, can be our allies, so that it doesn't matter what we think about it, sooner or later they will fall. The thing is that what's happening after these dictatorships fall? And here I have to say that if you compare the so-called third wave of democracy, which happened, the changes in the Soviet Union, and the fourth wave, what's changes in the Middle East. If you see what is different, in addition, of course, to fundamentalist regimes, though communism also was kind of fundamentalist. What is different is very different attitude of the free world, who was mobilized to support democratic dissidents in the Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union. And every senator and congressman had the list of human rights activists, Jewish and not Jewish, in the Soviet Union, in Hungary, in Poland, in Czechia. Today, if I start asking you, do you know the names of the democratic dissidents who made it possible, Arab Spring? In Egypt, in Syria, in Lebanon, all over the Middle East. Nobody even knows their names. And if you look, these people who made all this possible, they didn't get any support. It's a long process. I'm sure that in the end, all the people are choosing to be free. But how long this process will be, a lot depends to what extent the West is ready to lead and to support.
Another phenomenon, as we see the Arab Spring fading into memory, there is something else that is resurgent, and that is anti-Semitism in Europe. And I'm wondering how you understand the cause and the intensity of it today.
Intensity is very big. It is a very deep process. It's a lasting process. And the fact that Jews feel themselves extremely uncomfortable in living in the Western Europe, which was their home, and they believe that they built this home, is the fact that, well, externally it's because huge masses of Muslim population, millions and tens of millions of Muslim population, and from that groups of people are coming individuals, but still terrorists, and a lot of grassroots anti-Semitism, and that's uncomfortable. But if you look, why about hundreds of millions of citizens of Western Europe, Jews should feel themselves uncomfortable, even if there are some thousand strong anti-Semites. The thing is that Europe, as a result of their postmodern philosophy, decided to give up on its identity, decided to permit to people who are coming to Western Europe not to accept their values, and started looking on Israel, the country which insists on being free and with identity, as kind of post-colonial, the remnant of colonialism. And as a result, the ideas of freedom and democracy and human rights somehow connected not with Israel. To the contrary, Israel is viewed by liberal Europe as one of the last remnants of colonialism, and that feeds the strong feelings of anti-Israeli feelings in liberal Europe, which Jews always felt and feel that their home, their part. So this combination of strong anti-Israeli feelings, extremely strong anti-Israeli feelings, on liberal side of Europe, and strong prejudice against Jews among the new citizens of Europe. That together created unique situation when those Jews who care about their connection to Israel, those Jews who want to remain as Jews, feel themselves increasingly uncomfortable. I want to say only one figure. Just now, a few days ago, the special study which was finished in France, organized or initiated by President of France. And these figures proved, or these statistics proved, what we were saying for a long time. 50% of French Jews, what means approximately 300,000, already decided that their future will not be in France. And 40%, what means 200,000, see as their first destiny Israel. And that's official study of French president. So it's really unique situation, and we have to act accordingly.
But on behalf of a very grateful policy conference and the pro-Israel movement in America, I want to say thank you for being our hero.
Well, that's it for part one here at the Washington Convention Center. AIPAC 16 has really taken off, and we have a lot more candidates, a lot more for you to hear. So we hope you'll be with us for part two. Remember, if you want to send us an email, it's info@tvrabbi.com. If you want to check out our website and check out former AIPAC conferences as well as other former shows, the web address is www.tvrabbi.com. Hope to see you next time for part two at AIPAC 16 right here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. Shalom.
And I'm talking about Rabbi Doug. Talking about Rabbi Doug. Talking about Rabbi Doug on your TV show. Well, he's the rabbi for me. Anytime you need. You're gonna get married or you're gonna die. Gonna see Rabbi Doug. Gonna see Rabbi Doug. Gonna see Rabbi Doug.
This has been a Taped with Rabbi Doug production.